The avoidant has composed the message in their mind 100 times. They know exactly what they want to say, the words they need to express, the vulnerability they need to offer. They pick up their phone with genuine intention to reach out, to bridge the distance they created, to take the first step toward reconnecting. But something stops them. Every single time. The message is typed and deleted. The call is started and immediately canceled. The email is drafted and saved, but never sent. This is not game playing or strategy. This is internal paralysis. The avoidant genuinely wants to reach you, but psychological barriers, more powerful than their conscious desire, keep intervening, stopping them at the final moment, trapping them in a loop of wanting to connect while being unable to execute that want. The fear of rejection overrides everything. In the moment before reaching out, the avoidant's mind floods with catastrophic scenarios. You will ignore them. You will respond with anger. You will tell them you have moved on. You will confirm their worst fear, that they waited too long, that the damage is irreversible, that their patterns cost them someone who will not give them another chance. This fear of rejection is not rational or proportional. It is primal, rooted in early attachment wounds, where vulnerability led to pain. The avoidance nervous system interprets reaching out not as communication, but as exposing themselves to potential devastation. So at the last moment, the fear overrides the desire. They tell themselves it is better to live with the uncertainty of not knowing than the certainty of being rejected. The message remains unsent because sending it requires them to face the possibility of hearing no, and that possibility feels unbearable, the shame of admitting they were wrong. Reaching out requires the avoidant to implicitly or explicitly acknowledge that their distance was a mistake, that they mishandled the relationship, that their patterns hurt someone who did not deserve it. This admission is psychologically excruciating. The avoidant's entire defensive structure is built on avoiding shame, on maintaining the narrative that they were protecting themselves appropriately, that their choices were justified. But reaching out means admitting they were wrong to leave, wrong to create distance, wrong to let fear govern their behavior. This admission feels like complete psychological collapse, like dismantling the only protection they have. So even though they want to reach you, even though they know reaching out is the right thing to do, the shame stops them. They cannot tolerate being the person who made a mistake, who hurt someone unnecessarily, who has to come back and admit they should not have left. The belief they do not deserve reconnection. Something else that stops the avoidant from reaching out is the deep-seated belief that they do not deserve your grace, your time, or another chance. They remember how they treated you. They replay the moments of coldness, the times they withdrew without explanation, the pattern of taking you for granted. They know they hurt you through their patterns, and part of them believes that the punishment for that hurt should be permanent separation, that reaching out would be selfish, that they have no right to ask for anything from someone they treated poorly. This belief manifests as a form of self-flagellation, where the avoidant denies themselves what they want because they have decided they do not deserve it. The wanting is real, but the belief that they have forfeited the right to act on that want keeps them frozen. The paralysis of not knowing what to say. The avoidant wants to reach out, but becomes paralyzed, trying to find the perfect words. How do you summarize months of absence in a text? How do you convey genuine remorse without seeming manipulative? How do you express feelings you have never been able to articulate before? The pressure to get it right, to say something worthy of breaking the silence, becomes so intense that it prevents any communication at all. The avoidant writes and deletes, composes, and abandons, endlessly trying to find language that captures what they feel while protecting them from total vulnerability. But the perfect message does not exist, and the pursuit of it becomes the excuse that allows them to avoid the actual risk of imperfect but honest communication. They tell themselves they are waiting for the right words, when what they are really doing is avoiding the discomfort of any words at all. The cycle that keeps them trapped. The avoidant wants to reach out. Fear stops them. They delay, which increases the guilt and shame. The increased guilt makes reaching out feel even harder. More time passes. The gap widens. The difficulty of initiating contact grows. They want to reach out even more, but now there is more to explain, more time to account for, more damage to acknowledge. The fear intensifies. They remain silent. The cycle repeats. Each iteration makes reaching out incrementally harder until the psychological barrier becomes so massive that it feels insurmountable. The avoidant is trapped in their own making, wanting to connect but unable to overcome the cumulative weight of fear, shame, and time. They are trying to reach you. Something keeps stopping them, and that something is themselves, the only barrier between the connection they want and the isolation they have created, and they do not know how to get out of their own way.